do it. Let people see it. And maybe everyone moves past what's happened to what could happen. And maybe, just maybe, it'll be one of the best decisions you ever make. Like not killing a guy who left your brother on a rooftop to die. Why'd you bring us here?
Welcome to NocBro Nation.
What's up, guys? I'm Jarrell.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to review episode 3 of The Walking Dead Season 9, Warning Signs.
Warning signs. So, right off the bat, guys, spoiler alert, if you have not watched this episode, please go watch this episode and then come back for this review, because there are some big things that have went on in this episode, and I will say right now that this is my favorite episode so far.
Yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I really did. I agree. There was a little bit of mystery to it. There was a shock ending. For the most part.
It cleaned up kind of the Oceanside storyline arc in a sense. So, but we'll get into the talking points for now.
And we're not going to go scene by scene here, because I think in this episode there was an overall theme. It's been that way for a couple of episodes now.
It's been building kind of up to this point, really.
We all know that Rick wants to move forward with the world and really build upon this world as Carl envisioned. And that is all of the communities working peacefully together and coexisting together and really rebuilding humanity, right? But when you come out of a war, like the communities did, it's kind of hard to do that. And right now we have the Saviors rebuilding the bridge on an agreement that they would get fuel and supplies
and food,
which has not made its way to them simply because people are being picked off. And that feeds into another theme of this episode, to where Saviors are going missing.
Yeah, and Rick's optimism of wanting to build for the future, and like we said, it's going to be hard after you get done with the war that you've been fighting people that you've lost so many people to, and now you're going to try to work with these people. Not saying all of them fell under Negan's kind of ideology. I think a lot of them were probably like, okay, well, he's providing for us, let's just go along with it. But they were the ones that were really hardcore Negan people. I almost said Neganites for some reason. And now they're kind of pretending to work with each other. So there's a lot of distrust, and that's where a lot of the animosity comes with, especially with Maggie and Daryl, that they don't see it that way. They still see these people as a threat. They see these people as they're playing nice for now, but if something happens, they're going to turn as quickly as they can. And that's what really feeds, that's what's been feeding these last 2 episodes, and what kind of led into the big fight that we saw this episode is due to, Saviors being picked off, what happened to Justin. Those Saviors are blaming the survivors like, look, you're making us work our asses off, and, we're the ones building this bridge, and now you're going to be killing us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I loved it, though. I loved kind of how a lot of it tied in to how the end of the war, the first 2 episodes of them kind of being okay with each other, but now it's really starting to see come through.
There's more and more tension just because of, they're so close with each other. In my opinion, if you were to do it kind of the right way, it probably would have never been having the Saviors be the main contractors on the bridge.
Probably not.
And probably stay a little bit of distance from the,
keep
the
them
Saviors.
Keep them at the sanctuary.
But it's still, helping them.
Right.
I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so we get a huge brawl in the camp.
Yep.
And that is because Justin's gone missing, and we know from the previous episode and the opening of this episode that Justin is killed by someone. We saw kind of a first-person view of that murderer.
Yeah.
And what's more interesting about this is not only are the Saviors blaming people like Daryl, and they quickly pan over to Anne and say, my money's on the garbage lady.
For payback because of what Simon did to her people.
But furthermore, Rick kind of has his suspicions too. Like, he takes a look at Justin's body and sees that the wound is a clean shot. It's a small wound and almost like a spear or an arrow would do. So he goes and talks to Daryl and asks Daryl, and I think he knows, right, that Daryl didn't do it.
No, but what's funny is that Daryl kind of asked Rick, is this what you used to do as being a cop? Yeah. You're investigating, you're talking to a suspect, you're trying to, feed him out. And, and even Rick told him, he asked him, do you think I did it? Rick immediately says no, but he's like, but other people do, and I have to ask. So he's like, I know you didn't do it, but I just kind of have to ask you. Not really necessarily saying I don't trust you, but I think maybe he wanted to do it in case other people are looking to see them talking to each other.
And I loved this dialogue because there were a lot of things in this dialogue between Daryl and Rick that just were amazing, because
you can see the differences between
Rick
them
is
now.
telling Daryl, look, like, you're so negative right now, in layman's terms, like you're being so negative about this, and if you just showed them
that you're on board,
that you want this and that you want more, then they would follow you.
Right.
And then he goes,
what he said at the end.
Yeah, dude, do it for the guy that left your brother for dead.
Yeah, on a rooftop.
Rooftop,
which was great. It's so it was really great to hear that, because it's Rick telling him, hey, I'm the guy who literally left your brother on a rooftop to die, and you didn't kill me. You wanted to, but unfortunately Shane put you in a headlock, which isn't cool. But
I loved that dialogue. It was just amazing.
It made perfect sense.
Yeah, it did. It did, and you kind of see that that little thought in Daryl's head.
He's thinking,
maybe he's right, but I mean, of course, he doesn't fully believe in Rick's plan yet. And what was really cool about this too is this was Rick actually coming to the site because he was given a report of what was going on after a whole day with his daughter and Michonne.
So Rick basically gets a day off. This is what I'm deeming right now. This is the last time Rick will have a day like that with Michonne and Judith. This may be the last time we'll ever see Judith again, supposedly. So Rick is having a great day with Judith. He has a day off.
And you know what? He's making babies.
Oh, they're talking about making plans for the future. Real plans. We're talking about baby time.
Baby making, bun in the oven action.
And if it is true, supposedly, after episode 5, there may be another time jump. Possibly 5 years. If she's pregnant,
holy crap,
we're seeing a kid.
5 years?
I've been hearing it's possibly 5 years after episode 5.
Wow.
So if that's true and Michonne gets pregnant, we will be seeing a kid.
Wow.
But he's having a great day off, and then unfortunately Scott comes over and tells him the news that they found Justin, because as Maggie was coming to the site with food, she was Jed and
Mud.
His name's Mud, but it's Jed actually. He's saying his name's Mud. Arat, Laura, and a couple people were looking for Justin, and then as they went off in the woods, Maggie saw Justin coming out, and they took him back to the site. And even though the fight was short-lived, it wasn't really a fight, because Rick Grimes came in on that horse and was like, "You're gonna stop this shit now." I mean, he comes in,
and that was cool.
He's like pacing back and forth.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "I'm sorry, Rick."
But it was.
But the thing is that the Saviors want to protect themselves. They want guns because they feel they're being hunted either by Rick and his people, someone else out there. They feel we're out here working on this bridge all day, all night, and we don't have protection. We're getting picked off one by one. We have an issue. But there was not there was a brawl, but it was short-lived just because of what happened. But
it escalates even more when is it Arat goes missing?
It does, yeah. So they're kind of all doing doing their grid search. So they're going out. They have, like, as far as we know, 5 grids, and they're Maggie is with Cindy, and I loved Rick is with Carol. and I love that.
Oh yeah.
The conversation between those two were amazing, and Rick is basically talking with Carol, kind of saying his whole ideal again. I want to build this for the future, and Carol seems to be on board, but she's also still a little passive because she said, with that fight today, I really wanted to pull that trigger and stop it before it started. No, I can't remember the line, but
yeah,
she
that's right.
kind of stop it before it starts. Yeah, so she was close to wanting to do it, but she's going with Rick because she feels it the same. She feels that ideology as well. She wants to build this, and she just wants Rick to kind of be sure to kind of like almost like keep your eyes open and just, we have to watch them even though they're doing okay, but there's an issue right now.
Yeah, and they come across one of the Oceanside girls. I forgot her name. Basically, all of the grid, the teams checked in except for one team, and that was Grid 5. Now they are looking for. Are they looking for someone at this point?
Well, what they're going out is like Maggie and Cindy come across this house which has like a loud banging noise, which are attracting walkers, and they go and they kill them all, and then eventually, as they know that Grid 5 was the only one that didn't respond, which that Grid 5 was Arat and the one girl from Oceanside. I think her name's B. I think it's B-E-A, B. And they find her and she's knocked out, and Arat's gone. They found her walkie, they found her knife. And they said, whoever has Arat, like they have her. Wherever she is, someone has her because they didn't kill her.
Now, this, of course, they know is going to just cause a lot of tension, even more tension that is not needed already because the Saviors are going crazy.
And Arat's Arat is a big character. She's been around a while.
A major voice for that crew.
Oh yeah.
So they know that the Saviors believe she is on watch for the entire night. So that gives them the rest of the day and night to look for her, in which they go out and do in teams.
Yep, they do in teams. And one of the biggest things that we get is with Father Gabriel and Anne. So Rick talks to Father Gabriel and says, I know you and Anne have been kind of close. Was she on watch all night? And Father Gabriel lied to Rick, and he said, yes, she was, but in actuality, she wasn't.
Yeah.
But he lied to Rick, and Father Gabriel goes and talks to Jadis, and Jadis is packing up. Anne's Anne's packing up to supposedly go on watch again, but she doesn't. And, Father Gabriel's trying to talk to her, trying to find these secrets out that he knows that she has, and of course she's not giving anything away.
Well, she ends up giving one away because she makes her way back to the junkyard.
Yeah, she does.
Uncovers a secret walkie that is in a little safe that's covered by trash.
Yeah. There's trash there?
Yeah. Yeah. And basically radios the person on the other end. Now, this is the biggest reveal to date that we have from, the helicopter. And she essentially tells the person on the walkie.
Which we don't know if it was the guy in the helicopter or just the guy that runs
Well, she said to him, I know you landed.
No, she says, I know you've been in the area. I know you're in range because I saw you last night. So she says that I know you were in the area. I saw the helicopter last night, but we don't know if she's talking to the actual guy who was flying the helicopter or in it, or the guy who was maybe running this whole organization or whatever it is. But this is a major reveal.
Yeah.
Major
because
information.
I think that she, if I'm not mistaken, she reveals that she's paid her debt or paid her, whatever. But it's essentially revealed that she is trading people to this individual or these individuals. They are labeled as A people or B people.
Because he immediately asks her, do you have an A? And she says, you have an A or a B? And she says, neither. And that's when she kind of gets into, I've done my deal. And he's like, no, he says that you've been compromised, which is very interesting, that you've been compromised. So are these people watching? Or, what are they doing? And so he requests, she said, what can we do to fix this? And he says that they want an A. And as you guys know, we won't go too deep into it because, it's part of the review that we've seen the A in numerous parts of The Walking Dead. But we don't know if that A signifies this. But one of the big things that could signify it is that we've seen the letter A in the heap when Jadis captured Rick. There was an A on the container that he was in. And this is also the first, she refers to this herself as Jadis to this person.
Yeah.
So she's only Anne when she's been to Alexandria. She is now Jadis again.
It's cool.
That's
she's got
big.
like a split personality.
Very big
thing.
split personality.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
And unfortunately, her new boyfriend followed her and listened to the whole thing. And Gabriel is like, oh my God, you're trading people? And Jadis,
and furthermore, you lied to me.
You lied to
I
me.
lied for you,
and I lied to Rick.
Yeah.
And Jadis says, I've done very bad things, and these are things I had to do. But this is where we get even deeper: is that she asked Gabriel to come with him wherever this place is. She says it's far away,
and that they can have a life that they want. They can have any life they want there.
And it seems like a lot of people were thinking it could be the Commonwealth, but there's a sign for Toledo, Ohio, which is based off the comics, the Commonwealth, so they know where that is.
Assuming they know.
Assuming that it is. This location, I think, is far away. We don't know where this is yet. We have no idea. It could be new, but it's only a theory.
Yeah.
But it's huge.
And they obviously have the resources.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the communication. Look at the bunker, because they had to fly those bunkers in.
Yep.
They obviously have a helicopter. They obviously have fuel when the rest of our crew is literally struggling to make fuel.
So this has to be a big place that right at the apocalypse, they started gathering all the supplies they could, and that's why they're still around. So it's going to be great to find out. I think we're going to see it in the next 2 episodes of Rick.
It's going to play a big role.
I think it's going to be we're hoping that's going to be how he leaves.
And so to end this scene, she mentions to Gabriel after he declines to go with her, I thought you were a
B.
A B.
So
and knocks him out.
Right. So Gabriel says, I can't do this. I have to tell Rick. And that I love that line, because whatever this A and B signifies, a lot of people were thinking maybe it means A for alive, B for bitten. That's probably not it. Maybe A for alpha, like alpha male, B for beta male. She assumed that Gabriel was a nice guy, but when he stood up to her and says, nope, I'm telling Rick, it changed her mind that now he could potentially be an A.
Yeah.
We did find out, we know that Negan and Rick were A's or are A's. So we don't know.
I think we'll see more.
Yeah.
We can get into this, but I think that Gabriel's fine. He's going to wake up. Jadis is going to be gone.
Yeah, he'll have to get out of there. I think
I think he's going to wake up to her gone.
No, not from the scenes that for the next episode. Yeah, we'll get into that when we do our predictions video. But so let's get back into it. I think we're winding down to the end. The search group is going out, looking for Arad, and we get
Maggie and Daryl.
Maggie and Daryl are together, and we get a quick scene with them. Kind of, Daryl is asking her, "Are you just putting on just going along with it, putting on a face for Rick?" And she says, "I don't know." And Daryl's kind of the same way, but
she says she understands Rick's way.
She believes Rick's way is best for Herschel as well. So right now she's on board with it. Carol and Rick are out, and they actually get ambushed by Jed and one of the other saviors. And the reason they're being ambushed is they want the guns. They don't want to kill anybody. They didn't kill it. They haven't killed anybody else. They just want the guns.
Yeah.
And this is who he was pointing the gun out in the scene where he's like, if you do this, everything that we're doing is done.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
in the end, Carol turns a blade on him, cuts him.
She has a hidden blade.
But does not fatally wound him. And actually, Rick and Carol let the 2 saviors go.
Well, they bring him back. Well, we don't see it, but they bring him back.
Yeah.
So because they said we'll patch you up and we'll be done with it. But the biggest reveal is the conclusion of the Oceanside arc.
Yeah. So it was mentioned earlier in the episode by Cindy that because the house that they were at used to be where Oceanside resided. That was where their community lived.
Yep.
Until Negan came along.
Yep.
And actually, as Maggie and Daryl are making their way into their community, there is and it takes after the title of the episode, warning signs. There are tons of just road signs laying out, but on the building there is it's written final warning. And
And the reason they make their way there is Daryl and Maggie find a walker that they kill, and they find somebody else, and they see an arrow through the chest of one. And right when Daryl sees it, he's like, I know who took Arad. And that's what led them there. And we see that Cindy, along with B and another one or two
basically
of
all the Oceanside girls,
they have Arad right in front of them, hands behind her back. They're ready to kill her. And so when Daryl and Maggie arrive, this is where we get the story. So as we know, Simon killed all the men and boys of Oceanside. Negan did not know about it. And so the saviors that were going missing, they were actually killing off the saviors who took part in these killings. Yep. So as we know, the other saviors were fine. It was specific ones who were with Simon's crew that killed their people.
Yeah, and specifically Arad killed Cindy's 11-year-old brother.
One of Justin killed the girl B, her husband.
Yeah.
So that's why they killed Justin.
And here's Cindy
explaining
the first thing that comes out of Maggie and Daryl is you can't do this.
Can't.
That they say that a few times.
Yeah.
You cannot do this. And Cindy is shaken. She hasn't told Maggie and Daryl why they're going to do this. They've just explained that this is what happened. And then she goes into the story of Simon and the fact that Arad killed her brother. And I think right there in that moment, it was before she said anything about Maggie and Gregory. In that moment when Maggie realizes that Arad killed her 11-year-old brother, you could kind of see that look in Maggie, like she completely and fully understands why she would want to kill Arad, because she wants to kill Negan just as much for killing Glenn.
A little bit. It wasn't, I feel, until like the real end part of it.
Well, no, she doesn't say it until then.
But you can see Maggie and Daryl were listening very closely and understanding why. And, you know, how Simon came in, took everything because they could, killed her brother, killed her mother, and, you know, saying how Arad was laughing right when she was about to kill her brother.
Well, and that's what's funny is Maggie and Daryl were pretty much going to tell her, look, you can't do this, until Cindy made Arad say what she said right before she killed the brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cindy was like, what did you say before you killed my brother?
Mm-hmm.
And Maggie was like, and Arad didn't want to say it until Maggie said, what did you say? And she said, no excuses.
No exceptions.
No exceptions.
Yeah, which was the same thing Negan
because
said.
Here's Cindy pleading for her brother's life, saying that she loves her brother. That's all that she has in her life. Mm-hmm. And then that's when Arad says no exceptions and kills him.
Right. And so that's the same thing that Negan said before, you know, killing Glenn. But the biggest thing also is that Cindy found the strength to do this after Maggie killed Gregory. Yep. Because she realized that Rick's rules are not the only rules. You know, we got the strength and determination to do this because of what you did. Yeah. And
it was interesting too, because they came along. Cindy said, we were a part of this war because we thought that this was the only way,
right?
Rick's way. And then when she saw what Maggie did with Gregory, it showed her and Oceanside a completely different way of handling things.
Exactly.
And at first, I thought that Maggie was upset about that. No.
She was it kind of fed into her ego, I think, a little bit. And you know, I love after Arad says what she said, you see the look on Maggie's face, knowing exactly what those words mean. Both her and Daryl start walking away, and as they're walking away, then we see the kill of Arad. They kill her right to her head.
Yeah.
And then we get to see then Maggie's mind completely changes because she tells Daryl, we tried Rick's way of doing things. Now it's time to go see Negan. And Daryl's like, all right. And that's the end of the freaking episode. So it's...
I think we get a quick shot of the Saviors leaving the camp.
Yeah,
they're going back to the sanctuary.
Right, they're leaving.
In front of Rick.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much where we end that episode. But yeah.
It was great.
It was a really great episode. I don't want to say that this is why I didn't... I loved the episode. I just don't like the whole Maggie going after Negan thing.
Well, I get it now because
I
you know
get it.
she's getting this early, you know, because of what happened, you know, because like it's Cindy has fed her this information. She's like, look, we did this because of you, and this kind of made Maggie say, you know what, I'm done dealing with the way Rick's doing it. I'm just gonna go and try and kill Negan now. You know, now we don't know if we're assuming she's going there to kill him. We don't know if she's going there to talk to him, but she's got to make her way through quite a bit to even get to him. So we'll see what happens in the next episode. The Obliged.
And we only have 2 episodes left of our lovely character, Rick Grimes. So you kind of got to wonder what's going to happen now. I mean, is Maggie going to stick around to see that death? Is Daryl going to stick around to be around during that death? If we see him on the bridge, and we'll get into our final thoughts before that. But yeah, I mean, that's it, guys. Let us know what you thought of Warning Signs, episode 3 of Walking Dead season 9. Probably one of my favorites so far. I mean, I know it's only 3 episodes in, but
it's exactly how I feel. So yeah, let us know, guys, and stay tuned for our predictions video that'll be posted on Friday. We'll get into the next episode predictions, and we'll definitely be doing our kind of final thoughts on how we feel Rick is going to be leaving us. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us on NocBro Nation on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll see you soon. We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.